We are rushing through some technical difficulties. We're trying to figure out how Discord works and all that. So, but we have a full panel of hot D enthusiasts.
Yes.
Is that what we're gonna say?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna this is like I said, this is like the quick little one topic little show where we do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I asked everybody. I said, you know what? Look, we try to do the rundown with on Thursday the main show and try to talk about shows, but the House of Dragon stuff that's what 4 days, 3-4 days after it's already aired that we're not talking about it. So I was like, let's try it on a Monday. So guys, let's do it. Let's go around the clock here on this panel. As I know the screen kind of looks weird, got all that brick wall going on. I'm gonna try to put some pictures up as we're talking. But who wants to dive in first? Wants to go first about what they thought about this latest episode of
Let's utilize our resident know-it-all Nixon over here about the hot D.
Yeah. What do you know about the hot D, Nixon?
I thought last night's episode was really good. Yeah, I'm a little confused by the ending because I want to know what happened to make Sir Criston do what he did.
Yes.
But I mean, the episode was written and directed by women, so I mean, I have that in my notes. But I think that's why you don't bring a side piece to the wedding.
I've already had that conversation with my wife. Like, can we invite exes?
Yeah, the sneaky link is supposed to be sneaky, not right there.
I mean, I don't think that Joffrey really asked for it, but his name was Joffrey, so he did kind of ask.
That is very true. Very true. And a great point. Yes.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, my notes are all over the place. I went straight for the ending. In the beginning, though, with the former Hand of the King whispering in his daughter's ear, well, he's pretty much legit telling her that what's going to happen is, you know, you got to protect your kids. And he told her, like, you know, I didn't lie to you. My sources were valid. And then when she does come to find out that Ray did lie to her, that's what happens at the what is it that before the wedding when she wears that green dress? She's her color. Yeah.
So on that though, what I found fascinating is even in that moment still though, with her coming to the knowledge of the tea, she still doesn't know who she slept with.
Right. Exactly.
She's assuming still in that situation that it is her uncle because that's what all the drama was coming about. So I found that like fascinating kind of how they set that up and where they were kind of like just giving her nuggets to really fuel that. And that, I can't remember his name, but and I'm going to use a word because he's crippled in the show, but what's his name?
At first I thought he was the new Hand of the King, but then I was like, no, he doesn't have the badge. Like that's not the new Hand of the King.
No, it's his cousin or brother.
Son.
Yeah.
The Hand of the King's son.
Yes.
I thought the White Knight, because I literally just watched it before the show. I thought the White Knight, her protector,
Sir, what's his name?
Christian.
Sir. Yes. I thought when I listened to him do his admission, he basically said that he did it.
Yes.
He admitted he was the one.
Eventually.
What the Queen doesn't know is she sleeping around, and I think that's the assumption. She's assuming that yes, probably with Daemon, definitely with her protector. So she's basically just letting it all hang out, and I think that's the assumption here. So now she goes, I can't trust her at all. She lied to my face about all of this adultery or whatever you would call it.
Or was it deflowering or
virtue?
Yeah.
Her maidenhead.
Her virtue. And what I find fascinating is like, you know, because they were best friends and the way they grew up, but she positioned herself in this sort of stepmothery role. They're the same age.
Yeah.
They're the same maturity level. The only thing that this girl has on her is that she's been pregnant and she's gone through that now. So for her to have this righteousness of, what she should and shouldn't be doing is, in my mind, so like weird how that role, like how she was just like put in this role of being superior to Ray, even though they're the same freaking age, the same maturity level, and they're living almost the same life, just minus children and being married. And she's got all these other things she's having to do.
I agree. She was
go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris. I was going to say the queen now has always been used as kind of a pawn by her father. Like, obviously, she didn't want to marry the king. She didn't want to go into his room late at night with that suspicion of who knows what's going to happen. So she could have come out with just being like a side piece to the king as opposed to being the queen itself. And we don't know whether or not she actually did sleep with the king beforehand, because she did go to his room late at night several times.
She did.
And we don't know, but her father was just using her and trying to better his position and his family's position by doing that. And also in this episode, when he leaves, that's what also he's trying to do. He's trying to better his family's position to seize the power by pushing her in a direction where she's going to, like he said, you either are going to have to double down on the princess, or you're going to have to double down on your son. You're going to have to choose. Yeah. And I think that'll be an interesting forward struggle.
On that exact same note, what I thought was fascinating is he was absolutely setting his family up to be in this position where his daughter now has to make this horrendous choice of, do I protect my children outright with no question, or do I put my faith in my friend, the heir, the potential threat to my kids, and what will she do? And he's basically going, someone will die. It will either be the princess and her stake at being the heir, or it's going to be your kids, because she can't be heir with your kids around. It's going to create war. But what they're also not acknowledging is, I mean, he literally planned and put his daughter in this role that she has to now continue without him because he fucked up. Yeah. And so it's putting his problems on now the female of the show and the queen, and she's got to make all these horrible decisions, and it's going to be, I can tell already that she's going to kind of be put in that where they're showing how the bad character comes into play. She's going to do probably some horrible things to try to protect her sons, because that's all she can do now. Yeah. And she wore the green dress. She said, we're going to war. She said, we're doing battle now, and we're going to see who comes out the winner. And all of this was laid out by her father.
I think it's another manipulation tactic by him. So at this point, her children aren't in jeopardy of any sort. Who's gonna inherit the throne is already laid out. Everybody's into it. They're strengthening her position by the marriage to basically her first cousin. And so everything's just kind of lining out. So her father, again, I find this very manipulative of him, getting her to cause tension within the royal family to where there will be those sparks. There will be that animosity and that fight for the crown ultimately now, because he keeps the ball rolling and keeps feeding something that's not even there right now. It doesn't exist. Yeah,
the whole episode was parents manipulating their kids. The entire episode. Yeah. All around was just these parents manipulating their children's futures.
Well, with the former hand of the king, it's sort of kind of now it's kind of cemented and set into his daughter now, because I know what I was thinking that same thing that you were saying about how like these two are the same age, they're peers, but she's taking her position as queen seriously. I mean, she's a young girl that's forced to be with this older man, and you saw the look on her face when he was, I guess, trying to, their wife, have her perform her wifely duties, right? She's doing her duty, and she
was groomed for this,
which is the way it was back then. So she, but as queen, like I saw that struggle in the last, I think it was the third episode, where she was trying to have a conversation with the princess, and they just weren't clicking, and she was trying to still stay friends, But it feels like in this episode, it's like she feels like she betrayed her father. He's disappointed in her, but the mission, the seed that he planted. Now she's like, okay, now I'm gonna. I've already betrayed him once, but now that I've been betrayed by my friends, now I'm gonna take my father's mission on and take it seriously and try to protect what's ours, protect our. Now I feel like she's a full-on threat now to.
She picked her family. She picked
totally
her family, and that's where the green dress came into play. Mm-hmm. And she's creating her allies within the court, and she is going to war, basically.
Oh, yeah. Basically.
At least her house stays with her. That's what they said.
Yeah.
But her dad wasn't even at the wedding.
Mm-mm. What do you think it's gonna?
Oh, he's not allowed. He's kicked out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's allowed.
So, should we talk about the side pieces murdering each other?
Oh yeah, let's lead into the
all the side piece drama.
I love the fact that the cousins that they liked each other. What she said to him on the beach was like, since I'm being forced to be in this marriage, at least it's with somebody that he chose somebody that I get along with, that I like. But I had this conversation with Joy. She wasn't really watching it, but when a certain part came up, I paused it and I told her, I said, even though she couldn't hear, I had my headphones on, she couldn't hear it. I said, look at this moment where and Nixon, help me out. What's the name of the queen that never became the heir? What's her and her husband, the black husband, and
what?
The prince's father. Well, the cousins. They're
the king's cousin.
They're Targaryens, right? Are they Targaryens? Or are they?
Well,
they're Valerians.
The wife is.
Yeah.
The husband's
Valerian.
Valerian.
So it was so interesting when he said. When the wife knew, he's like, you know your son's not into this. And after they just had that conversation on the beach about appetites and those metaphors, and he was the typical father. And I'm sorry, I had to throw it in there. I felt like in my mind, it was like, I know him being black doesn't matter to the character, but it was like, there's a lot of homophobia with black males and stuff. I was like, I felt that kind of there. I know it wasn't done on purpose, but I felt that I was like, this is also reminding me of black men who, if they find out that their sons are not straight, they get upset. They fight against it. It can be very dangerous to in some situations. And I was thinking they could have gone that direction, but they didn't. I mean, I'm assuming that even back then, even further back, it could have been even worse. Like they maybe the son might have been killed or something like that. I have to read up on it, but
yeah, we're definitely trying to relate these to medieval times, but technically this is a mythical world. Somewhere else.
So that whole conversation was just fascinating.
Maybe they're into it. I don't know.
Yeah, he was like, maybe he'll grow out of it, and I was like,
yeah,
that's what he said, because that's what he said to us. Like, no, he's not gonna. This is.
But if you look at Game of Thrones and you look at even them going to the whorehouse and all that crap,
right.
There's men on men. So really, what you're getting the idea is man on man love is not so much the problem in private. They are okay with you doing whatever you need to do sexually in the privacy of your bedroom. Mm-hmm. They have to uphold these, grandeur ideas for the kingdom and all that stuff. So that's kind of where I felt like that came into play. Like, I didn't even feel like he responded super negatively when, his wife made the comment about how, your son's appetite. Yeah. And I think that he did it in a way where he's like, I get that he does that. Maybe it'll change, maybe it won't, but he's got to perform these duties, sort of thing. It's kind of the vibe I got from that moment. It didn't feel aggressive. And I really loved the conversation on the beach that they had. It was a very modern conversation for what is supposed to be.
That conversation gave me hope. I was like, this could work. This could work.
I loved it. I was so excited about it. I was like, this is a great conversation to put in a show, especially for something that is showing at times where there's just all this hardship for duty. Yeah. And I really loved that concept, and the beginning of beards and all that good stuff.
What about you, Nixon? What did you think about the conversation on the beach leading up to what happened towards the end?
it was really sweet, kind of almost innocent like. I mean, it was reminiscent of Marjorie Tyrell and how she was a beard for the Baratheon.
Yep. That's very accurate.
It reminded me of when Peter Dinklage, when he had that conversation with which Stark sister was it, when they was forced to be married, and
Sansa.
Yeah, and he was like, "I'm not gonna force myself onto. I know this is not nothing that we both want, so whatever you wanted to." Like he put the power in her hands. Like, I'll just let you take the lead. So it kind of reminded me of that. What about you, Sarah? What did that conversation did you take from it? Did you like it or?
I like the conversation. I mean, obviously it was a good conversation, and I agree with, the majority of the group when they say it's more about procreation than it was really about anything else. And it was just saying, hey, we get it. We are who we are. And unfortunately, we're in this situation to where we have to pop out some children at some point to further our family line and whatever. So let's just suck it up, do it when we have to do it, and then otherwise do what we want.
Yes.
What was that? Oh, I just had it for a split second that because in that conversation about that whole thing, it just I should have known better about, because this universe is the Game of Thrones universe. Anytime you feel hopeful, like this could work, it's gonna end badly. But the way it ended badly,
of course,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, a wedding.
It was a celebration. But
Yes.
but did any of you guys expect it to twist the way it did during the dinner?
Well, yeah.
Well, I thought something else was going to happen. I thought that she was going to disappear with Daemon.
Ooh.
Like, legit. I thought she was going to disappear with Daemon when they had that weird conversation, and I was like, oh, God, here it goes.
You know
She's
what?
going to go off with Daemon.
Before we get to that, there's something that we just skipped over before we get into that. Daemon divorcing his wife, so to speak.
Divorcing her? On a lighter?
Let's call it what he.
Let's use proper terms here.
Let's use
Murder.
what he decided to. What he was probably thinking this was. He promised to love and cherish her till death do us part. So
they don't do that.
He quickened the situation. I was totally shocked at how he did. I thought that he might have drawn a sword, maybe had somebody with a bow and arrow or something like that. But the way he did it in that sneaky way, trying to make it look like an accident, even though her cousin wasn't buying it.
Yeah, he couldn't
have
do
to
that
be
right.
an accident.
Yeah.
Because if somebody actually murdered her and there was an arrow sticking out of her, people would be like, well, who murdered her?
Yeah.
We would all know.
Looking for a murderer.
Damien, where were you at the at 7:45 a.m. on this?
Which is pretty much what happened at the wedding.
Right. With her cousin.
Yeah.
Did anybody else get the vibe that her cousin might have liked her, loved her?
No.
Yeah.
I got that vibe.
I totally got the in love vibe.
Yeah.
The way he was like, do you need company?
Yeah.
And she's no.
She's like, I will
I
ride
liked her,
by
the way.
myself.
I was like, hell yeah, this strong ass woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I was
obviously.
hoping to see more of her. What about you, Sarah? You didn't get that vibe from the cousin?
No, I didn't get that vibe from the cousin. Although I don't like it. I don't like that stuff. Like all the Games of Thrones,
it's only
family's just a little bit too close, and I just go, no, I don't want to do that.
She's blocking it out.
I'm looking somewhere else while it's happening, and I'm like, let me know when it's over, because that's gross.
I felt it the way he offered to ride with her and the way she shut it down. It was almost like in her mind, it was like, look, you tried this crap when we were 13. Leave me alone, dude. I want to ride by myself. Stop. And then he was like, it was that weird look that he gave. He was like, man, like, when is she ever gonna see me? Love her the way I love. When is she gonna love me the way I love her? My cousin. I'm trying to freak Sarah out because
she's uncomfortable. It's okay. I know. It's great.
Where's my soundboard at?
Meanwhile, the Targaryens are all.
Leave it alone, Chris.
Well, and then
sound effects.
the way that he even approached his accusations at the wedding, it was not like it, in my mind, it wasn't even like a family familiar sort of accusation. It was like, I loved this person, you killed this person, I know it was you accusation.
I can't prove
She
it.
was also meant to inherit.
Right.
So their main title. So he might have a completely different motive other than like wanting to get with his cousin. He might have just wanted to be a part of that titling because obviously he didn't get that title. She was the main heir for everything.
Yeah.
And so now that she's gone, I'm sure he expected to get it instead of
his face when he laid out his plan, I was like, oh damn, like he put it all out there. Like, I'm gonna be getting this, I'm gonna be presenting this situation, and his face just dropped like, holy fuck, this is going to go down, we're gonna have to fight over this. Like, you could just see it all clicking, and they did such a good job with that, I think, of like his realization of Damien's plan and what he's going to do.
His wheels are turning slow. Like, you could just tell that guy is not quick.
Nope. He's not.
Because the cousin is from the place that Daemon is now set to inherit.
Yeah. It was a Lex Luthor type of scheme that was pretty awesome the way he kind of pulled it off.
Like, I got Scooby-Doo vibes. Yeah, like the ruh-roh.
Like, you think at the end of the whole series, and Damien's gonna be like, I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for the meddling dragons or something.
Meddling children, because literally that's who he's dealing with. All these little 12-year-old girls.
But,
you
know,
oh my god.
But at the ceremony, I mean, okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm going ahead again. The knight, or what is it, Sir Chris? Is it
Christian?
Him confessing on the boat ride, him confessing his love and asking her for the impossible. It's like, dude, I'm sorry. I know the way. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I'm alone in this. Let me ask you guys this. This is the vibe I got originally. At first, I was like, dude, okay, I get what you're asking her. It's cool to ask. Maybe she would say yes. You never know. Great. But when she thought about it for a split second, and then she put her duty above. It reminded me of almost like watching The Crown, where Queen Elizabeth put the duty of the crown above her own happiness and all that stuff. He should have understood that and respected it, but he then, to me, kept bitching about his honor. It was about him. I know she put him in a messed up situation where he felt like he couldn't say no. I think we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
But
that's called man's ego, Chris.
It was a selfish ask. The reason why he asked her is because he disrespected his vow of chastity.
His vow of chastity.
And so in order for him to rationalize that behavior, if he marries her, then he's no longer dishonored and continue to be... Yes.
Well, no, I'm not going to let you guys jump on him too hard because she is the CEO and he's the secretary.
Everything. Yes, he is. No, he is the doorman.
Yes, and she is the CEO.
Her doorman.
And she is Bill Clinton. He's Monica in this situation. Okay?
I don't like that.
That's not that's not accurate at all. That's not accurate.
She's the princess. How could he have said no to her?
That's not accurate. Because Monica, you're using an analogy that doesn't fit because Monica never asked Bill to give up things, and Bill preyed on power.
It was a power play. Yeah.
It was a power play. So this is, even though she used her power to get what she wanted, and he felt trapped in saying yes.
He could have said no.
And
then she backed off.
He could have used his oath that he had to give to be in his position to tell her no, and that he really did have an out that he didn't use. And then when he goes and doesn't get his way, he goes and throws tantrums about it because his poor male ego can't handle it because he isn't being put first because he realized.
And that's where he lost me. And that's where he lost me, when he kept pushing it and when his anger started to build up about it and whatnot. Maybe he did have an out. Maybe in the moment he didn't feel like he had an out. So I'll give him a slide on that.
No, like in the moment he said no, she backed off and was like, okay, fine, and then he came at her. So it was a mutual thing.
Ooh,
it
Sarah played. Sarah with the replay.
But anyway, at the freaking dinner, he's all grumpy Gus, and so the king to be, his boyfriend, gets all like, ooh, I want to know who it is. I want to know. I'm all nosy. I want to figure out who it is because you're making a deal. There has to be somebody on her side, so I want to know who it is. And that's how I really think that he's like, oh, you slept with her, didn't you? And then that's why they got in a fight, because his little ego was already shattered and smushed, and he was like, I can't let people know about it.
You said you said you thought that he. Wait, I'm confused. You said you think that Christian thought that did what again? He slept with her?
I think the boyfriend of the
Prince?
king to be, her betrothed, the prince to be. Obviously, he was looking at him, pointing. I think I know who it is, and we saw him over there.
And he talked to Sir Chris. Yeah, he talked to each other.
Something together, and so that's. In my, I just watched it, so that's what I think happened, and why they started a scuffle, because he's like, well, if he tells people, or people suspect that of me, that not only tarnishes my reputation, but also the princess's, and I'm already got my panties in a bunch because she doesn't want to marry me.
Yeah.
And now I'd already told the queen knows, and I told her I would die instead of being gelded, if you get what that is.
Being tortured, yeah.
No, gelded is no more tea bags. Is the bag's gone.
Oh.
And
I'm not a fan of that.
Do you think that him seeing Daemon with Ray just sent him over the edge, and then
I'm still confused of what really triggered what triggered him to attack.
I am too.
Because it was like all he did was just say out loud, or in that private little low-key conversation, was that we're both in a dangerous situation, but if we watch each other's back, you can still have the woman you love, and I can still have the man that I love, and we can all just this group can kind of. He just wasn't having it. It was all he heard. I think all the knight heard was that I just can't have her to myself. And it was just pissing him off more.
He seems to be a very righteous man, so maybe he's not cool with the idea that there's now a man-on-man scenario. He seems very morally...
Yeah, it probably makes the princess even look more tainted in his mind.
He did say to her, what am I, your whore now?
Yeah.
And I think that's more of the issue than it being a two separate groups.
Most guys today...
I feel like his little heart and in his mind, he's going, well, if I can't have her, and more people know my reputation is which is really all he has, because he has no estate, he has no title, no really nothing. He's a nobody knight that she elevated into this high level position, which is all he's really ever had.
Right.
And now she doesn't want him. Wants him as a side piece, which he already said he wasn't a whore, so here we go.
It's like, what am I, your whore now? And she's like,
and now everybody knows.
Does anybody else?
I'd have been like,
does
nice.
Anybody else feel the hypocrisy of that whole thing about how his ego wouldn't allow him to be the whore to a potential queen, yet every female who ever comes in as a side piece in any show in this scenario is like, yes, I'll be your whore.
That's the
best position ever.
It was almost like watching
this poor man's ego cannot take it.
Yeah, because he lives in a world where a knight being made a whore to a woman that would have been even worse to his ego, to his reputation and all. He didn't want to. He's not that progressive in his mind, I guess.
But she's the fucking heir, man.
Yeah. He's either a whore or he doesn't have tea bags.
Yeah, so fucking be a whore.
Yeah,
God.
I would have taken the deal. I'd have been like, nice.
Yes.
Yeah. And we get to keep doing this on the side. Nice.
You get to screw the really hot heir to the throne. Yeah, it's hot life.
Yeah.
Live in the castle.
I mean, he could make babies with her, and it could be his kids. No,
yes.
you don't know.
That would have been a faster track to. That would have been a faster track to getting those tea bags cut off. Because that would have.
You have to prove that.
That would-
so you would have to say that about the queen,
Well,
and
yeah.
if you say that about the princess,
If
you get murdered.
If that baby came out a
Imagine
full,
going, hey, the queen is screwing around all these people. They're gonna be like lopping heads off.
Well, she is
like,
potentially marrying a half black man, so she gonna have some color up in that baby.
I wasn't even gonna go there. I mean, they're
That
cousins.
white hair.
That white hair. That hair is gonna be white no matter what. So if that baby
Well-
would have came out brunette, everybody would have been looking at Sir Christopher like, "What the hell did you do?" It would have been.
We're gonna find
I
out.
don't think they can have kids that aren't white-haired because they're all white-haired.
They
All the
are.
kids-
That's what I thought that too. Is like how they all have white hair.
I think it's just they're just saying that's the
They're
dominant
dragon
trait
riders.
of the rest of
They're
this line.
Nixon. Why do they all have white hair? You know. Come on.
It's genetics.
Dominant heat.
Have you ever seen a polar bear, Christopher? Not right. But
We're gonna find out next week
What?
because the time jump starts.
Yeah,
next
the time jump happens. Yes.
next week.
Okay.
So the princess, the girl, she's no longer gonna be there.
Yeah, this was our last episode with Millie Alcock, and so now we're doing the time jump. All these 5 episodes were just,
Set up.
setting it up, and now we get the real
Yeah.
story.
How many?
And I'm
how
a
many
little
years are we
nervous about
jumping?
the new actor scenario because I was so involved.
About how many
And I've not
years are
played
we
these.
jumping?
All the juicy
A lot.
juice.
Yeah.
Like 10, more than
I
10
think-
years?
15.
Yeah. Something.
Okay. Yeah. Well, in that case,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
We're not going to find out what happens to Sir Christian and all the side piece action, and he could not even be there.
He's being
What if
now
he
now
loses
he's being
his
groomed
dad
by the
and
queen.
Is he the whore? What is happening here?
I think we might get a taste of what that is because the queen stopped him from killing himself. So
So
there's obviously going to be some storyline going
yeah,
there.
she's now hired him as like maybe like a spy or like he. I feel like now she's the only one that he can trust in his mind because he offered to be killed, and I understand I'm going to be killed. Like she's obviously not going to allow him to die, which means now he's probably going to feel like he's in service to her, loyalty
He's
mostly
a
to her
great
now.
pawn.
Now he's a pawn, like super
ultimately,
pawn now.
His fate is in her hands.
Is the
because
king?
He admitted that to her.
Is the king dead now? Is that? I mean, we saw him at
No.
very, very bad.
No.
So 15
He's not dead.
years. So he's still going to be around for another. So 15 years later, he's still around. So he's going to be in bad shape. when we see
Am
him
I the
again.
only one who watches the after the credits?
Yes.
Okay,
I
thanks.
watched-
Yes,
Yeah.
I was very tired.
Yeah, no, I watched it.
What
Yeah.
happened? What did I miss?
No, he's
Well-
alive, and they show him as like an old man.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tabitha, who do you think that little brunette kid is then?
I don't know. I saw that, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Because she goes, did you hear the queen go, you can't keep doing this? So is he like having babies with a bunch of other people?
You mean his?
He looks like it's a 12-year-old kid. He looks
Okay.
So it's one of the queen's current children. You guess.
he has blue eyes.
Yeah. I don't know. It was left kind of open, so I guess we'll find out. But it was definitely a little bit of a teaser, so
That's
we'll see.
interesting. That's interesting. We gotta see. Okay, so I think that it's gonna. I'm gonna miss the old cast. Hopefully, we'll still see them again, maybe in flashbacks and stuff, because it was just like I brought it up earlier, just like The Crown. I was sad to see that when they did a time jump. I was sad to see that they changed the actress that was playing the queen, but
Yeah.
the actress that they got, they crushed it. They
did.
It was almost like with the old X-Men, and then when they did First Class, you're like, oh, you can't replace Professor X and Magneto, but McAvoy, they crushed it. So hopefully it'll be the same situation. We won't.
I'm already a little sad, and it's very vain. It's very vain.
But
I'm a little
I
sad
trust.
she's not as pretty.
The new princess. You mean
Yeah.
She's pretty.
I haven't even seen her.
Side by side.
I didn't think she was as pretty. It's a very vain statement, but I was like, oh.
And I'm not gonna say I'd get canceled if I said that. No. But
I was just so sad. I was like, the other character was, I don't know, it's just such a look, and then the new one, it changes so much. Like they
What's-
didn't even find like same
what's-
facial features.
what's her?
I have
what's her
I
name?
have a meme where they look so much alike. The
Do
two
they?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have
What's,
not.
what's her name again?
I've been seeing,
What's the
I've been
princess's
seeing the
name
memes
again?
where they look pretty much the same.
See, when I saw her in the
It's not Rhaenyra. Who's that one?
That's Game of Thrones, right? That's
Yeah. No, it's Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra. Oh,
Rhaenyra.
yeah.
Emma
Emma Darcy?
Darcy. Is that? Yeah, that's
That's the older one.
the older version of it. And Millie
Yeah.
Alcock is playing the younger version. Yeah,
Maybe it was the scene they showed because I was like, oh, they look nothing alike, and so I was like scared.
No, she kind of to me looks like an older version of Millie with the white hair. I see
White
it.
hair is not the only thing that makes her.
He don't bother him. He's a man. He doesn't pay attention to details.
How dare you? Oops! And that we just accidentally lost Sarah. But overall, I thought I wouldn't say it was my
Wasn't that
favorite
man
episode.
ego coming into play? Man
Right.
ego hit.
Right, you have dishonored me.
Get up, Chris.
This is treason.
Take your tea bags.
Like, this is treason. How dare you? But let's go around the table, guys, because I have to end it real quick. Want to start with you, Nixon, if you want to say, I don't know if you want to tell everybody where we can find you online, and appreciate you having on your first episode of the Rundown.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm Nixon Love 08 on TikTok and Nixon.Bastidas86 on Instagram.
All right. And we have Sarah Catherine the Red
On Insta.
Yeah.
and Tabitha Jordan. Where can they find you?
You can find me at tabitha.jordan.18 on Instagram, and then Les Have Fun 012 on TikTok, I think.
I thought you were about to say and Les Business on TikTok.
I almost did, because you constantly say it to me, so it's in my head.
Hashtag Les Business. All right, guys. And yeah, if you want to reach out to us, and if you have any more comments, questions, or concerns, or your predictions of what we're going to look for the next episode of